Welcome to Mom and Son Play Games. We're here, myself, Nico, and Mom Hatsumi are playing or talking about
Ghost of Tsushima by Sucker Punch on the PlayStation 4. Yes, that
Do
was...
be warned, spoilers.
Yes,
Although
spoilers.
I personally don't think it's a big deal, but there are spoilers. If you care about that, we don't, so
Yeah, we
watch
don't.
out. Yeah.
We're past the statute of limitations on spoilers,
Yeah.
so we can say whatever we want now.
So, Ghost. What is Ghost of Tsushima, Mom? What is this game? Give a little background.
It's an action game that puts you in 13th century Japan as a samurai who has to like save his island and stuff. It's very much like watching a samurai movie. I feel like it's a video game version of a really fun to watch samurai movie.
Down to the point that they even have Kurosawa mode.
Yes.
In that classic black and white.
Yes, grainy.
Overly grainy.
Yep.
That's a lot of fun. Actually, no. Let's go over the generically like popular things everyone talks about. Game is beautiful. Agreed.
Yes, the game is absolutely beautiful.
It's
We don't.
fucking
You
gorgeous.
don't need to hear us tell you that.
Yeah.
Everybody tells.
My girlfriend would watch constantly, and she just comes in the room and she's like, "Oh, that's pretty." To the point where it was a fucking meme between the two of us. What else is there? Got the story, which we mentioned earlier, and the spoilers and stuff. Not a big deal because I think Mom and I can both agree. Spoilers is pretty. The story is pretty generic.
The story is very generic. Not that it's a bad story, but it's
true.
It's just a very typical like this is a samurai movie.
If you're into that genre, you'll be accepting of it. I would think. Like
yeah.
I was. Like I knew what to expect, but I was
it.
cool going in. Yeah, you look forward to all that.
Yeah. So when we say that the story is generic, we don't mean that in a negative way. It's just that it is exactly what it's trying to be. I feel like, and they did a good job at that. Like I felt like I was playing a video game as if I like that was a movie. I felt like I was in a movie. That's how it felt to me, and I loved it. I think one thing that we can definitely talk about is difficulty. People had a lot to say about the difficulty. You can see a million videos and a million people talking about how Ghost of Tsushima is too easy. So much to the point where they actually added a harder mode later. So I was actually playing the game on easy.
I was going to try the hardest difficulty, but I never ended up pushing it past that. I didn't care about the difficulty of the game. I mean, yeah, it got easier over time, but I was okay with that. I wanted to be a badass samurai. But anyway, as far as difficulty goes, yeah, I did put it on hard. I didn't want to put it any higher than that because I learned that it was actually kind of interesting. The way they did difficulty is actually really interesting in this, where putting it higher meant that like TTK, time to kill, was going to be a lot quicker, which is kind of what I wanted less of. I wanted the fights to kind of last longer, so I kept it the lower difficulty just due to the fact that I won't be one-shotting or get one shot back. But what I did instead was, you could mess with like your gear. I made sure not to level my gear, so like if I felt like I was too strong, I would kind of just like stop leveling my shit and just like I want to at least struggle a little bit.
But I was leveling things up every chance I got.
Although towards the end of the story, though, you just honestly they give you the ghost stance. You want to feel strong, like from then on. I don't know if
Ghost
you have a problem with feeling strong from then on. I'm sorry,
man.
that was just fun, dude. I mean, at that point, you're just having fun. Like it's not really a challenge to overcome. It's just fun.
Yep.
But I do like how difficulty didn't feel so straightforward, because the whole thing about hard to lethal or whatever it was. Lethal was you were able to kill things quicker because it was more realistic, but they were also able to kill you quicker. I wanted to feel like more of a video game, so I kept it at that hard difficulty rather than that more realistic lethal feel.
That makes sense.
That's cool.
I just wanted to be powerful, so I kept it on easy. And even on easy mode, I got game over a few times. So that I know that says something about my skill level, but whatever. We're not here to judge me, damn it.
It's like those of y'all complaining the game's too easy, just stop leveling your shit. Take off your charms and then go play.
Yeah, make the
going.
difficulty
You can make
for
the game,
yourself.
because whenever I got to, I don't know, I really like that whole like. We played such a huge range of difficulty, there's such a big range of difficulty that you can kind of figure out at how difficult you want it for yourself.
Yep.
It's nice. And it didn't feel too janky either. Like taking off charms didn't feel like I was like so doing such awkward things just to make the game harder. It was just like, oh no, yeah, I'm just taking off little things. It's fine.
Yep. I mean, I don't remember the last time I played a game that was so customizable in its difficulty. Like, we always talk about character customization and leveling up and being able to choose what abilities you want and all this other stuff. Like, people always talk about that, but there's not a lot of games that you can really talk about the ability to customize your difficulty, because even by putting the game on a certain difficulty, you can still tweak it by changing how certain things look. So a really great example for me was I tried playing in Kurosawa mode. I kept the game on easy the entire time. I tried switching the game to Kurosawa mode, and I ended up finding that made the game too difficult because of the fact that it was black and white. I had a harder time seeing certain there were certain cues, certain visual cues that I was relying on in order to be able to successfully traverse whatever it was that I was trying to do. I couldn't see things that were normally in color because they were in black and white. I didn't notice that thing over there was shining, or something along those lines. And I was like, wow, this is actually really kind of interesting that even something that's supposedly just an aesthetic can be used to adjust the game's difficulty. And I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I loved it.
Definitely.
Even though I had to turn it off.
Yeah, I didn't mess with that too much myself. Any difficulty out there, any game has yet to modify difficulty for the sake of platforming.
And actually the platforming in this game is very forgiving as long as you can figure out where you're supposed to go. I couldn't figure it out sometimes, and I'd get frustrated and I'd fall to my death or something. And
shout out to the jump puzzles in the last zone or whatever, where they actually make you go. You know how shrines are always going up, but somehow they made you just stay on ground level. Or stay on ground level, and you were just like, where the fuck am I? Like you're just constantly jumping all over the place. It was pretty cool.
Overall, I actually like the platforming and the jump puzzles in this game because the platforming itself was forgiving. I just did get frustrated sometimes at not being clear what direction that I was supposed to go. I mean, overall, the game does a really good job at guiding you, like the whole guiding wind thing. It's like, oh, follow the wind, go that way. And the game does give you visual cues, like there are small critters that would go in a direction, I think, or there was critters. What is it? Critters? I don't know. There was something that to me was kind of like an almost unconscious like hint of go in that general direction. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't
gold
critters.
birds.
Yeah, like
gold birds are one
birds.
of them. But it's cool because they made it feel kind of natural too. Yeah. That's another thing to this whole difficulty thing, is that even people who get lost very easily in the game or in video games, I think will have a very easy time with that one.
I am the queen of lost in video games. You can have a map in front of my face and I will still get lost because I get so turned around. This game didn't have a mini map. It had a map, which I would use, but it wasn't super helpful in like, oh, okay, just go from here to there. Like I was always bringing up the map to figure out, like, am I going in the right direction? Am I following along the river correctly? Things like that. Yeah. And I actually was able to navigate without massive frustrations, whereas I have other games that I've got a regular map and a mini map and I still get turned around. So whatever Ghost of Tsushima did with the gold birds and with the foxes and with whatever else and the guiding wind, they did a really, really good job at giving you environmental cues on where to go, except for some of the jump puzzles.
Were you stealthy? How was your combat going about things? How did you like fighting?
I mostly went in balls to the wall most of the time. There are points in the game that force you to do stealth. So I actually have a gripe with a lot of people who reviewed or talked about the game or wrote about this game when it first came out. They were talking about how you can choose how you want to play. And generally speaking, that is correct. But there are certain points where they're like, nope, tough shit. I don't care if you can't stealth, or I don't care if you want to stealth. You have to do this way. Now, I did, like, I would say 75% of the time do balls to the wall. But I did mess around with stealth. And I am notoriously bad at stealth in games. Like if you give me a game and it's a stealth game, I'm either going to give up on it or I'm just going to play it not stealthy because I really suck at it. But this game gave me a lot more tools in order to do more stealth. So there were a few like strongholds that I was trying to see if I could sneak kill the entire camp, and I was actually successful a few times.
Nice.
And that felt pretty good. I know you were stealthy for you were probably stealthy for what, 80% of the game, and balls to the wall 20%.
I think I got balls to the walls once they gave me ghost dance, because basically I'd go in, I'd insta-kill till my ghost dance was charged, kill 3 people for free, then just go murder 4 or 5 more people, and then just rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
what was really fun was the wind chimes with poison on it. The thing was disgusting. You just every single person that you sent to go check a wind chime would just die instantly. You could kill an entire camp without even seeing anybody. It was so dirty.
That is dirty. So I want to go back to talking about the story. The other stories for the other characters that, like the side stories that you could do, I thought those were well done, and I thought those were a lot more interesting. I especially liked Norio's story and Masako's story. Those two were a lot of fun.
Watching Norio, the battle monk, slowly like be evolved by the ghosts.
Yep.
And hatred and emotions of human beings.
He gets so un-Buddhist, man.
It's crazy.
I felt
nutty.
so like upset about it because, you know, he's like cracked under the pressure or something. I don't know. That was probably more emotional to me. Like his storyline probably was the most emotional for me than out of all of the stories, including the main story, because you know, the main story
him and Yuna, good stories.
Yeah, actually Yuna's story was pretty
Yuna's
good
cool.
too.
And Masako, I agree with Masako being good.
I liked Masako. I would have liked to see Masako actually kill her own sister instead of forcing her sister to commit suicide, but that
was kind of cool too, though.
Yeah, it was done well.
Kind of worked.
Yeah, I thought that was good. Like I really enjoyed those kind of the side story things. When I got my bachelor's degree in Japanese language and literature, I had to study a lot of Japanese storytelling, especially storytelling from hundreds of years ago, because Japanese storytelling definitely integrates a lot of their culture into how they tell stories. And I remember feeling as I was playing the game that I felt like I was reading some Japanese stories. It kind of felt like that. It wasn't perfect, but it felt like that. So, since we're totally going into spoiler territories anyway, at the very end of the game, you have to fight your basically your adopted father. And because he's like the ultimate samurai dude. When you defeat him in battle, you have a choice. You can kill him or you can spare him. I killed him. Did you kill him?
I also killed him.
You killed him. I
looked
watched
up the other video though.
That's what I did too, because I felt like I had to kill him. Like, how could you not, right?
You gotta follow the code, dude.
It would have felt so bad to let him live. Of course, here's kind of the opposing viewpoint of that though. If you choose to let him live, then you really have told that samurai code to go fuck itself, which would also be completely legitimate within the realm of the way that story was being told, I think. Yeah,
because the idea was you were going against the code. You're trying to do your thing. So that's true.
Yeah,
true.
But I couldn't, even though I was happy.
Sparing him is lame though.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Oh, it
Better
was.
Ending.
Yeah. When I watched the video, I was like, oh, this is like it was really not nearly as exciting.
It was so boring.
It was boring.
I was just like, oh, okay, we're done.
No, that letting him live was definitely like not a good choice. Definitely not a good choice. Because like when you kill him, and you're sitting there and you're hugging him and crying and stabbing him all at the same time, and you feel his heartbeat like slowly slowing down and
on your
stopping
controller.
on the controller.
The controller's vibrating. Oh
my god, that was so emotional.
That was actually pretty good. That was well done.
Yeah, but like if you let him live, you don't get to experience any of that shit.
No, none of that.
So like, nah. There was a lot of death in this game.
Yes, pretty much everything ended tragically, which I think was kind of the point. But yeah,
I felt like I was watching Japanese TV. It's like you watch all those J-dramas and stuff. It's always like sad ending. The person dies in the end, or you know.
Oh no, I couldn't find so and so. Can you help me find them? They're probably attached to a tree by now, but sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, an important review segment for our video games. When mom plays, did it pass the mom motion sickness test?
The motion sickness test. For the most part, I would say there's like my levels are 0, low, medium, and high. This is gonna go on low, simply because It should be 0, but low, because whenever you crawl underneath a building, it forces you into first person mode, and
that fucks you up.
And it kind of does like this weird tilty thing that made me nauseated. And then when you swim in the ocean and the ocean's waves are going like this, that also made me feel really woozy, which is funny because if I'm actually in an ocean swimming, that doesn't happen to me in real life. But in a video game, that's the only time. Aside from that,
okay, cool.
Aside from that, no motion sickness problems with this game at all.
That's good.
Because I have a big problem with motion sickness in video games.
Yep. Actually, a big portion of Mom's review segments for games.
Yeah.
Is whether or not she could physically play it.
Yep.
Anything else?
Is there anything else that we want to mention about this game besides the fact that you should totally play it? And I hope that it comes to PC. I feel like PC gamers are missing out. I'm hoping that it comes to PC. I think it will.
It'll come out.
I think it will.
Come on, all those big games end up coming out. And this is pretty big of a game.
I hope so. I really hope so, because I really
hope more of y'all get to play it. Get your butts out there and play it. It's fun. Well, assuming that you like the style.
Didn't I platinum trophy that?
Ah, yes.
I did.
I
platinum trophied that game.
It's like her third game ever or something like that, too.
Third game ever that I ever platinum trophied. So, interesting to note that you don't need the difficulty that you play the game on doesn't affect your ability to platinum trophy a game. I am not a fan of achievements and trophies in general. Like, I think that they tend to be arbitrary a lot of times. A lot of times it's just I basically have, I have like this big gamer cred because I played it on the hardest difficulty, so therefore I platinum the game, and I feel like that sort of, it limits it. I mean, sure, it sends a message that someone that platinum trophies a game, it means that they're really good at hard difficulties or things like that. But I like games that give you ways to platinum trophy, or if you can platinum trophy a game without having to be difficulty. It's other things that you'd have to do. It's a time-consuming game. If you
do all the side things,
yeah.
And like any of those kinds of games.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So, do you think that this game is similar to any other games that you've played?
Assassin's Creed would be the quickest name to throw out there for the average gamer, I think.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed, but takes place in Japan.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I want to play Assassin's Creed. I still haven't played that. Yeah.
All
okay.
right.
Anyway.
So now that wraps up Mom and Son Plays Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed us rambling on about all the different things we liked about it. Get our little viewpoints, myself and Mom's perspective.
Yep.
Yeah, tell us what, anyone's got any other thoughts about the game. Fucking let us know down below for sure.
Yes.
And if you guys have any other ideas for games that Mom and I could review or something, that'd be kind of fun, because we're kind of struggling looking for new games. Let us know. I like hearing about any new games, any fucking game. I don't even care what the genre is. I'll try it.
We just like to. I think what's fun about this video and other, making videos like this is that you and I have very, very different gaming styles. So when we get to talk about playing the same game and how you experienced it versus how I experienced it, I think that's fun. So like, this was a good game
Definitely.
for that. So if anybody has any suggestions on other games that we could do that with, let us know.
Yep. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Please give us a like down below so that we know you actually enjoyed this.
Hit the subscribe
or just give us or give us suggestions in the comments. If you didn't like something, hey, fucking let us know.
Yeah,
I want to know.
Mom
how to make
talks
good
too
content.
much. Mom talks too much.
Whatever it is.
True.
Alrighty. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
You guys all have a good one.
Bye.
Peace out.